What's up, YouTube? It is your boy Titan Sama. We're back again for another video, bruh. In this one, it's going to be a little short and sweet little video, you feel me? We are going to be trying to theorize what Loki's ability is, bro. Right? Let's get started. So, when we first see Loki, this man is introduced with bandages on his eyes, bruh. That, I think, is not for naught, bro. I feel like his abilities lie in his eyes, and once those bandages come off, the world will burn, bruh. The world will burn. You'll hear why in a second. So we also dive into some history with Loki and Shanks 6 years ago, that Shanks was the one that subdued the nigga, right? And then in the latest chapter, Gaban even told us that 6 years ago, Shanks was the only person strong enough to subdue Loki. Luffy, will you be strong enough to do the same thing? Do you think you'll be able to do the same thing, right? And I feel like 6 years ago, Shanks was not where he was today, right? I doubt he was where he was today. I feel like, and he only became a Yonko 6 years ago when he sat Loki down, right? So I feel like 6 years ago, Gaban was way closer in power to Shanks, maybe a little bit stronger, I won't lie to you. But Shanks had something in his bag that allowed him to fight Loki. Let's talk about that, right? So Shanks had something called observation haki killing, right? I don't know what that is. I haven't really looked into it. Maybe it's some type of observation X conquers haki type of infused technique that kind of enforces his will on someone else's observation haki that shuts it down. I'm just theorizing right now, right? But this tying in with Loki, with my theory, kind of makes sense, bro. So we know with the Norse mythology Loki that he has a shape-shifting ability and he can also cast projections, right? Illusions. Okay, so with this Loki, I feel like Oda tried to play on it a little bit, and instead of having physical projections in the real world or shape-shifting, this nigga uses a mental projection. So he will basically, if he locks eyes with you on some Medusa stuff, instead of you turning into stone, he is able to transfer a vision into you. So maybe the worst outcome of this fight, maybe he transfers a vision of you not having a left leg or something. So in the real world, you bouncing, skipping around on one leg. Every time your left leg touches the ground, you fall because you feel like you don't have one. Like you have no balance that side, right? So that's what I feel like his ability is. But in your head, you literally have no left leg. Like you looking down, you see nothing, bro. Like it's bleeding. Like maybe it's been shot off, or like you've never had one ever. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what his ability is. And Shanks, with his observation killing, is able to combat that in terms of he's able to shut down those visions as soon as they come into his head. As I said, I feel like his ability is Conquerors and observation mixed together, infused together, so that Conquerors takes over the vision and kind of like subdues it if the user has more will than the caster of the vision, right? So we just saw now at the end of chapter 139 that Gaban is trying to fight Luffy. We can obviously tell that Scopper is not at the level of power that Luffy is at right now with Gear 5, right? So I feel like this training session is kind of going to be something to the left of just checking where Luffy's power is, right? What I'm thinking currently right now is Scopper is basically trying to see or gauge where Luffy's understanding of his fruit is, right? But another thing I could be thinking of is the observation. What if Scopper's observation is crazy? I'm not gonna lie, I did hear this from BDA Law. Here's the clip.
But basically to hype Scopper, because Scopper basically challenged him because he has the key now. He's like, okay, like try to steal the key from me. And I think he's gonna have insane observation haki. Would not be surprised if it's their future sight or some way where they're not gonna be able to hit him. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to capture him or get the key away from him, right? Almost like Kakashi with the bells. That would be disrespectful. Okay, let's.
So what if Scopper's haki is crazy and is about to train Luffy on how to basically kill haki? So hear me out. What if in the next chapter, Luffy is throwing all these Hail Marys, nigga pulls out Black Mamba and starts like striking everywhere, and this nigga Scopper is untouched. He's just like dodging everything, like literally talking to Luffy while he's dodging, and Luffy is like question marks all around his face, you know what I mean? And then Scopper stops the fight and is like, okay, look here, one thing you can do is you can infuse your Conquerors with your observation, turning your future sight into a more potent version, yada 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 yada. You know, I don't know the specifics yet, obviously, because they haven't been shown to us, but I'm just trying to theorize. But I am hoping something like that happens, to where Luffy can also not only have an edge over Loki, not only become stronger, but become closer in power to Shanks. Shanks, the one that is such a high peak, like someone that feels impossible to touch. You know, it feels like I'm Icarus and Shanks is the sun. and I have my wax wings on, bro. You get what I'm saying? The closer I get, the further Loki becomes, bro. You know, so that is my theory on what Loki's ability is. It is going to be a mental projection type ability, and it is going to have some other sub abilities that I'm not really sure of currently. But I do have to say thank you to Be a Law for mentioning the Scopper Gavan having crazy observation haki. Otherwise I wouldn't have had the idea to make this video without you, my guy. Appreciate you, bro. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Just to actually rehash everything that we did speak about in this video, the first point that I made was Loki having a mental projection type ability where he can basically force feed your brain a vision of something happening, something currently happening, something that's going to happen, a false memory maybe. You know, we also went over Gaban and Luffy, what their fight might be. My original idea for their fight is definitely going to be Gaban telling Luffy about his fruit, about Nika, about Joy Boy, about the imagination aspect of his fruit, right? But now I am kind of low-key hoping that Gaban has crazy observation haki and is about to help Luffy obtain a smaller version of what Shanks has in terms of observation killing. Or maybe Gaban teaches Luffy about observation haki a little bit more, but then that kind of like makes Luffy instinctively engage that ability. Same way he did with the future sight during the Katakuri battle. So that could be the case. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. I know I did, bro. Nice and early. I know you guys can probably see my eye bags right now. It is early as fuck, but make sure you guys show some love any way you know how, bro. That can be by dropping a like, a comment. Maybe you guys want to dislike the video, bro. That at least shows me that you watched. You get what I'm saying? Deuces, y'all.